In the ever-evolving landscape of cybersecurity, a constant arms race unfolds between attackers and defenders. Attackers relentlessly seek vulnerabilities to exploit, while defenders strive to fortify their systems. Defense evasion, a sophisticated tactic employed by malicious actors, sits at the heart of this struggle. It encompasses a range of techniques designed to bypass, disable, or otherwise circumvent security mechanisms, rendering defenses ineffective. Defense evasion is a critical concept in cybersecurity because it allows attackers to remain undetected. By evading security measures, they gain a foothold in systems, steal sensitive data, and disrupt operations. Understanding defense evasion techniques is paramount for security professionals to effectively protect their organizations. It's not just about building stronger walls, it's about anticipating how attackers might try to climb over, tunnel under, or simply walk through the front door unnoticed. This essay delves into the intricate world of defense evasion, exploring various techniques employed by attackers. We will dissect these techniques, providing clear examples and highlighting their implications for security. Furthermore, we will discuss preventive measures and best practices to enhance defense mechanisms and mitigate the risks posed by defense evasion. The goal is to equip readers with the knowledge and tools to bolster their defenses and stay ahead in the cybersecurity game. In a world where attacks are becoming increasingly sophisticated, understanding the enemy's tactics is the first step towards effective defense.
Attackers often target the very systems designed to protect against them. By manipulating system mechanisms, they can disable security features, escalate privileges, and gain unauthorized access. One common technique is abuse elevation control mechanism. Operating systems have mechanisms to control which actions require elevated privileges. Attackers exploit vulnerabilities in these mechanisms to gain unauthorized administrative access. Imagine a standard user account gaining the ability to install software or change system settings, a clear sign of this technique at play. Another method is access token manipulation. Access tokens are like digital keys that determine user privileges. Attackers modify or forge these tokens to impersonate legitimate users or gain higher-level access. Think of a thief stealing your car keys and using them to drive away with your vehicle. A similar concept applies here. Attackers also utilize bits jobs, a legitimate Windows component for transferring files in the background. By disguising malicious activities as bits jobs, attackers can bypass firewalls and download additional malware. It's akin to smuggling contraband in a diplomatic pouch, using a trusted channel for nefarious purposes. Finally, direct volume access allows attackers to interact directly with storage devices, bypassing file system security measures. This enables them to modify files, steal data, or plant backdoors without being detected by traditional security tools. It's like breaking into a bank vault by tunneling through the floor, bypassing the main entrance and security measures. These are just a few examples of how attackers can manipulate system mechanisms to achieve their goals. By understanding these techniques, defenders can better anticipate and mitigate these threats.
Attackers thrive on finding and exploiting weaknesses in software code. By injecting malicious code or manipulating existing code, they can hijack processes, execute arbitrary commands, and take control of systems. Debugger evasion is a technique used to prevent security researchers and analysts from analyzing malicious code. Attackers employ various tricks to confuse debuggers, making it difficult to understand their malware's behavior. It's like a magician using misdirection to distract the audience from their sleight of hand. Deobfuscate, decode files or information involves attackers hiding malicious code or data within seemingly harmless files. They use encryption or encoding techniques to obfuscate the true nature of the content, making it harder for security tools to detect. Think of it as a secret message hidden in plain sight, disguised as an ordinary document. Hijack execution flow occurs when attackers modify the normal execution path of a program. By injecting malicious code, they redirect the program to execute their commands instead of the intended instructions. Imagine a train conductor forced to take a different route, leading the train and its passengers to an unintended destination. Process injection is a common technique where attackers inject malicious code into the memory space of a running process. This allows them to execute their code with the privileges of the compromised process, potentially gaining elevated access or bypassing security restrictions. It's similar to a virus infecting a host cell and using its machinery to replicate and spread. Reflective code loading is a stealthy technique where malicious code is loaded directly from memory without ever touching the hard drive. This makes detection extremely difficult, as traditional security tools often focus on scanning files on disk. It's like a phantom appearing out of thin air, leaving no trace of its presence. Understanding how attackers exploit code and execution is crucial for defenders to develop effective countermeasures. By implementing secure coding practices, using code analysis tools, and enforcing strong access controls, organizations can significantly reduce their attack surface.
Attackers often go to great lengths to conceal their malicious activities from security tools and analysts. By hiding artifacts, manipulating timestamps, and using other techniques, they aim to remain undetected and maintain persistence within compromised systems. Hide artifacts is a crucial tactic for attackers. They remove or obscure traces of their presence, such as log files, registry entries, and temporary files. It's like cleaning up a crime scene to eliminate evidence and make it harder for investigators to reconstruct the events. Indicator removal involves attackers actively identifying and removing signs of compromise that security tools might detect. They might delete specific files, modify registry keys, or clear event logs to cover their tracks. Think of it as a fugitive changing their appearance and assuming a new identity to avoid being recognized. Masquerading is another common technique. Attackers disguise malicious files, processes, or network traffic as legitimate ones. They might rename files to mimic system components, or use misleading process names to blend in with normal system activity. It's like a wolf in sheep's clothing, appearing harmless while harboring malicious intent. Obfuscated files or information are often used to evade detection. Attackers encrypt, encode, or pack malicious code or data to make it harder for security tools to analyze. They might use custom encryption schemes or leverage legitimate packing tools for nefarious purposes. It's akin to sending a secret message in code, making it unintelligible to anyone without the decryption key. By understanding these concealment techniques, defenders can improve their ability to detect and respond to attacks. Implementing robust logging and monitoring systems, using advanced threat detection tools, and conducting regular security audits can help uncover hidden threats and mitigate the risks of undetected compromise.
All right, so when we talk about subverting authentication and authorization, we're really diving into some of the most critical aspects of security. You see, these mechanisms are designed to ensure that only the right people get access to the right resources. But well, attackers are always looking for ways to bypass these controls. They might exploit vulnerabilities in the authentication process, or even manipulate authorization checks to gain unauthorized access. It's a constant cat-and-mouse game, and staying ahead requires vigilance and a deep understanding of these techniques.
Network-based evasion techniques can be quite sophisticated. Attackers often manipulate network traffic to avoid detection. This can include tactics like using encrypted channels, spoofing IP addresses, or even creating decoy traffic. It's crucial for IT teams to stay vigilant and employ advanced monitoring tools to detect these evasive maneuvers.
Cloud environments offer a unique challenge for cybersecurity. Attackers can leverage the scalability and flexibility of the cloud to their advantage. For instance, they might use cloud resources to launch distributed attacks or hide malicious activities within legitimate cloud services. It's important to implement robust security measures and continuously monitor cloud activities to mitigate these risks.
Artificial intelligence and machine learning models are not immune to evasion tactics. Attackers can exploit vulnerabilities in these models, such as feeding them adversarial inputs to manipulate their outcomes. This highlights the need for developing more resilient AI systems that can withstand such attempts and ensure the integrity of their operations.
As we've seen, defense evasion techniques are constantly evolving, posing significant challenges to cybersecurity. It's imperative for organizations to stay ahead by continuously updating their security protocols, investing in advanced technologies, and fostering a culture of awareness and vigilance. Remember, the key to effective defense is not just in the tools we use, but in our collective commitment to staying informed and prepared.